Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh, everybody. Happy 4th of July. Welcome to another episode of the ShOUT Show with me, your host, Preacher Moss, the host with the most, or at least the host with more. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday. I know this is a holiday weekend, so if you're able to tune in with us, we appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time. And we figured on our show that we're not going to slack up on anything, even though it's a holiday. We're going to make sure that we give you the facts, we give you the information, that we can have a conversation about the things that are going on around us and about us. So again, like I said, welcome to the show. And today's is of course 4th of July, and we call it Independence Day. Now, a lot of people have a lot of emotions around Independence Day. We just came through Juneteenth, and we have this duality of these holidays because for one group of people it means one thing, for another group of people it means another thing. And one of the things I always remember about 4th of July, reading as a kid, was that abolitionist Frederick Douglass took America to task when he talked about why should I be joyful on Independence Day? Because at that time when he was talking about independence, they were talking about slaves that were still in bondage. They were talking about people who were removed from their ability and their agency to choose what their life wanted to be, to live where they wanted to be, and have careers and pursuits for happiness and liberty and justice. Now, I am not as eloquent as Frederick Douglass is then or will ever be. I don't put myself in that category because it's a different type of intellect when you're thinking. It's a different type of, I want to say, genetics, savoir-faire, if you will, when you're talking to the people about a problem that people have avoided. And it's to the point that that problem is not a problem to them. That is just a way of life. That is characteristically how things have always been done. Now, I'm bringing this up, brothers and sisters, yes, because it is 4th of July. But I've always had conflicted feelings about 4th of July, just the same as many other people. We've been due a large, honest conversation for a number of years. Some of us have had it, some of us have not had it. But I believe, at least on the ShOUT Show for 2021, for this situation, I don't want to back up because I don't want to be in a situation where I have to talk about this thing later. Because it's amazing how people look at freedom. They look at independence because they put it in a capsule whereby to have it means that somebody else cannot have it. Case in point, here we are, 4th of July weekend. We are the United States of America. We are supposed to be the leaders of the free world. I present to you Exhibit A when we come back. Exhibit A will tell you that there's always reminders of people who don't want you to have justice and liberty, who don't want you to be thinking about your own selfish, I say positive self-interest in the words of my brother Reginald Kitchen. That people who look upon you as threats because, for lack of a better word, you have a better idea. That throughout everything that's happened and all the laws and all the miscreants and all the meanness and crime and injustice, that people still have the clarity, if you will, the train of thought to still be able to push forward. And I've said this before, that people are very much in a space to try and pull folks away from their own intuition, pull folks away from their own logic. It bothers me. It bothers me because I tell folks, people who are oppressed and succeed anyway are amongst the most creative and yet the most dangerous people in society to the folks that would deny them. Do you understand what I'm saying? That would deny them. I couldn't imagine being a free slave and owning a farm for a person who didn't know how to farm. The only reason he was able to have produce or grow crops was because of my own hard work, sweat, and due diligence. You see what I'm saying? And we're having it now, brothers and sisters, because people are beginning to create scenarios. We call them hate groups, but people talk about these are my land rights. These are my property rights. These are my ancestral rights. And I'm telling folks, I'm reminding you, like I remind myself every day, that we cannot sleep on these people. Because somewhere, somehow, while we're feeling comfortable or sleeping, there are people who are out trying to take our freedoms. Now, every 4th of July, I like to do two things. I like to watch my Sanford and Son with some sweet tea, And I like to watch in the heat of the night. And I watched a particular heat of the night today, an episode where a civil rights leader comes back to Sparta 25 years after he led a protest. And the scenario is that people are trying to kill him. In fact, I'm not even going to go into that. I'm going to make sure we're on the other side of that. So, Tana, go ahead and start the show for us, will you? Thank you. And we are back. Quick shout out to anybody coming on the show for the first time. Welcome to our platform, the Shout Out Show. Here's the deal. If you want to get in the comment section, let us know who you are, share your thoughts. You are more than welcome. I made the invitation. Like I say, you can lead a horse to water, can't make them drink it. That's number one. Number two, if you don't mind, click the subscribe button, link button, like button, any button you want to click on the way out. It helps us. We're at 167 subscriptions. We're trying to get to 168. Aha, there we go. But more importantly, we want you to enjoy the experience. Not just me as the host. I'm the host, but the platform belongs to the people. And I think as we move forward and we change a little bit of the format of the show and we craft it a little bit more succinctly, I'm going to make sure that the format is that we reach the people where they are. That the people have a place to say. I'm not here to lecture or talk at you. I'm here to talk with you. And this particular subject is the main reason I even think that this platform needs to be had. So the other thing is I want to give some quick shout outs because I don't want to run over. I know people got meat on the grill and things like that. That was a throw out to Sister Ree. I know y'all got some meat on the grill, y'all barbecue and all that good stuff. So if you're coming on the show for the first time, I want to introduce you to some very special people. So, Tana, can we get them up, please? We got Sister Ree, who is our craft services director. She makes sure that all the food and the topics are succulent and custom ordered. Thank you, Sister Ree. Happy July 4th. Can you have a happy July 4th or is it just July 4th? July 4th. I'll leave it at that. Next up, we got my little brother, Johnny L. Thomas. What's going on, beloved? I didn't even call you last night because I know you were out of your head with the Milwaukee Bucks going to the finals. And that's right. The last time you went, a Muslim led you. I'm just kidding, Buck. But congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks. They finally played the ball I knew they were capable of, man. I was really happy for them. And they did it on the road, which is really a big deal too, man. I don't even know if people know how important that is. They won on the road. So big shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm proud of you. I'm not a native son of Milwaukee. I'm an adopted son. But I know it meant a lot for the people there in the city and the Deer District and all that stuff. So I know that city's on buzz. Shout out, little brother. And I know if I was there, we would be having some barbecue someplace, and it would be the best barbecue in the world because the Bucks are going to the NBA Finals. There you go. Almost broke off into some Cosby. Sorry about that. Let me temper myself. Okay, I caught myself again. All right. That's number one. So JT, congratulations. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Next up, Brother Altaf Rashid. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Canadian ambassador to the SOS. What's going on, Altaf? It's Mr. 6 o'clock, straight up, straight down, making sure that the show is quality on both sides of the border. Thank you, Ambassador Rashid. I'm going to just start calling you Ambassador Rashid. In fact, maybe you should change your title to Ambassador Rashid. Well, I'll do it. But thank you so much for coming on the show, man. You know I appreciate your support. Next up, Brother Youssef. Are you all right, brother? I'm looking festive, man. I took the normal hat off because that would have been just too much red, white, and blue. I took the normal hat off, man. Hey, brothers, I think I'm gonna make an NFT out of this hat. Hey man, I hope you're doing well, man. I have made the wire about you. Hope you're doing well, man. That cryptocurrency, whoo, boy, that thing fell out quick, Jack. I mean, good gosh, it fell out quick, but it'll come back. You know, you gotta have faith. That's what the F. You gotta have faith with the cryptocurrency. So thanks, man. It's good to see you on the show, man. I hope you're doing well, and peace and blessings to you and your family. Family, give them my salams. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Oh, wait a minute. Who is that? Frederick Douglass. Can you back up a minute? Uh okay, we're gonna have to get the speech from Frederick Douglass. Maybe we can do it this show or next show. But all right, man. You gotta hear the speech, brothers and sisters. I mean, not hear the speech, we gotta read the speech that Frederick Douglass did. Amazing, amazing. Like it's funny when, and I don't want spend too much. It's funny when somebody who was a slave and you try to hold down, when they finally get to that space, when they're not a slave anymore, they let you know how inferior you are in your own space. It's amazing. Okay, had to get that out. Next up, this is Sakina Mujahid out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to you, or I should say, wa alaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to you and your family. The tribe holding it down in Charlotte. Hope you're doing good things, and peace and blessings to your family. And pray Allah continues to be merciful in the things you do and you go through. All right. Next up, we got Sister Satana, our consultant producer, who's making this thing work and bounce. Thank you so much for your support, Sister Satana. You know I can't do it without you. I've tried. It just don't work that well. All right. So thank you. So let's get in our topic. At this point in time, you guys know that when I try and do a topic on the Shout Out Show, I do research. I've learned from some of my teachers that when you take a news source, that you have to take both sides of a news source. You just can't take it piece by piece. What happened is yesterday in the cities of Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., they had a hate group. It's called the Patriot Front, came into Washington, D.C., and they marched in Philadelphia. I think it was like 50 people. They marched to the center city in Philadelphia, talking about reclaim America, reclaim America, reclaim America. They wear the khaki pants that are reminiscent from the riot in Charlottesville. So they wear the khaki pants and like the blue shirt. So you don't know if they're like racist or managers at AutoZone. Hell, I can't even tell. I mean, whatever happened to the hoods, man? Where the hoods? Damn. You know what? I don't care if you get them sponsored. Put a swoosh on it. But wear the hood. Stop trying to look like racism is supposed to be casual. You know, that's why I wore my little thing. Just let y'all know. But I digress. It was a big issue. You guys can actually look. We can look online. White marchers, hate group march through Philadelphia. Now it was done from a point. Now it was done for a point. And this is what I want you guys to know, because this is not the first time it happened. It was meant to incite. It was meant to incite a reaction from large populations of African Americans. Now, before you jump on the thing, talk about, I wish I was there, I wish I was there. No. This was an archival effort. The Patriot Front comes from a group that's based out of Fort Worth, Texas. You're going, wait a minute, Fort Worth, Texas? Yeah. Fort Worth, Texas. And what they do is they do these things. They don't do them in their home state. Because you could go to Dallas, you can go to Houston, you go to Austin, you go to San Antonio, but it wouldn't have the same effect. They go to spaces that are traditionally, supposedly liberal spots, particularly for African Americans, and African Americans who have their foot firmly in the mainstream of middle America, middle class. And it's meant to upset them. Okay, that's number one. But here's the other thing. You say, why do they do that? They do it also, brothers and sisters, because they have to have a new type of nuance. I just figured this out, and this is some relationship. It's what they did with Al Qaeda back in the day. You know, people used to think Al Qaeda was this big thing. You know, I talked to a British service agent. He said basically Al Qaeda was about 400 guys with a really good camera. So what I'm saying is racism is about optics. So when they show this video footage of going through Philadelphia and stomping and stuff like that, they did it at 10:30 at night. It ain't like y'all go through West Philly because y'all got stomped out. But they did it at a place downtown that it was away from where there would be a lot of people. 10:30 at night, everybody knows downtown is shut down. That was number one. But number two was they did it because they're going to take this footage and they're not going to show it to people this year. 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, they're going to talk about how they stormed Philadelphia. And what's going to happen is there's not going to be people around who remember the narrative or will conflate with, the narrative is not going to conflate with anything because people are not going to be talking to them about what happened 5 years ago, except for in this small group. Okay. But here's the thing that I think is dangerous. When I went to look it up, this was a part of Newsweek. Now the title, and I'm gonna show you guys the title, if you give me a moment. This was put out by Newsweek, and here's where it gets dangerous, because the people who are pushing the narrative are able to change the narrative on other people. I'm going to show something I want you to play. I want you to pay really, really close attention because I almost missed it, okay? Because it seems like it's just this thing, you're putting out. I'm going to put it up. Please watch carefully, and we're going to discuss it. Okay. All right, stop the presses. Stop the presses. What do black people have to do with white folks marching in Philadelphia yelling "Reclaim America"? I'm gonna do a remix. I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna take it back exactly to the place where I said, "Oh, wait, we got a problem." It was right here. Okay. Now, here's my point. You just took a religious organization and you made them a hate group. You carefully and meticulously edited in. I don't know of 265 black separatist groups, or 264. I'm sorry. I put one extra on there. What exactly is a black separatist group in the juxtaposition of a hate group? This is a position that's taken in regards to self-preservation. This is a position taken in regards to self-preservation by denying other people's preservation. When you start looking at it, It's the subtle optics of it. I just told you before we led into this. It's the optics of it. And when this thing gets worse, that video won't have, mark my words, they won't have the captions at the bottom. And it'll be played over and over and over and over again. And the issue is that you don't have Black people who possess the intelligence and the intellect to say that these things over there are not healthy for me. That's not separatism, that's intelligence. Guess I don't eat lead. Does that make me anti-lead? No. It just makes me a person that doesn't eat lead. And guess what? We don't even have to have a group of people to discuss the merits of not eating lead. You don't do it because it can bring harm to your body. You got to be very, very careful, brothers and sisters. Very, very careful, brothers and sisters, because the narrative has become much more trickier now. That the Nation of Islam at some point will be the justification for having all these other hate groups. And whether you want to admit it or not, they marched in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is almost like Muslim America. They marched in Philadelphia, which I always say is like a Muslim city. And they did it at night. They didn't go to West Philly. They didn't go to North Philly. They stayed downtown. I said, because they're trying to send a message. And if you think that these people are not on top of their game in terms of deception, you are fooling yourself. You are 100% fooling yourself. I can tell you about a riot. This is DNA. I can tell you about a riot that happened several years ago where the KKK came down and marched through, hear me now, Cincinnati. They came all the way and marched to Cincinnati. Now, what's the merits of this? They were trying to stir up the people of Cincinnati. Why Cincinnati? Cincinnati has a lot of racial problems. Philadelphia has a lot of racial problems. But they try to stir. And what is the similarity of this thing? Not just the racial problems. It's the fact that the group that came down to stir up these people weren't from the state of Ohio. They were from Minnesota. I looked at the town in Minnesota. The percentage of Black people in that town was less than 2.2, meaning that it was one Black man in his shadow. That's how many Black people were in this town. So what's the philosophy of look, there were all kind of places they could have stopped and found Black people. But somehow, some way they came here. And I thought about this while I was watching In the Heat of the Night. My gosh, brothers and sisters. I wish I remember the episode. Satana, please help me remember the episode of I'm gonna get the title and come back on. This is one of the best shows. I told you I watch In Sanford and Son and I watch In the Heat of the Night. Big fan of both shows. In the Heat of the Night, there was this episode, brothers and sisters, and I'll get the name for you. And I want you to watch it carefully. I'll bring it on another show. They had a civil rights leader that was coming to give a civil rights speech 25 years after he did it in Sparta. And you had Chief Gillespie who was there, and there was all, and it was, you know the plot. Somebody was trying to kill him, hired assassins are trying to kill him, and all that type of stuff. And this civil rights leader looked to Chief Gillespie and said, "What should I do? Should I not march? Should I not speak?" And he said, "You shouldn't do it because we're not sure we can protect you." And he said, "Hey, listen, then you just won't be able to protect me. I'm gonna give this speech." But he said something profound. I don't know who wrote this, but listen to what I'm about to say. Like literally clear out your ears. Listen to what I'm about to say. Because this was an actor saying it, and I know somebody wrote it in the line, but this was deep. He said, "For the souls of Black people, when death visits among their leaders," he said, "it takes them generations to produce another leader." He said, "But when the haters and the racists and the bigots said when death visits them, they said it's just a part of the process for where they're trying to go." Meaning it doesn't register. The idea is much bigger than the life. Do you hear what I'm saying? They know, brothers and sisters, that when our leaders go, that it will take years upon years, if we're lucky, to produce an efficient leader, a name brand leader. Think about that. But they said in the push to advocate for racial agenda and white supremacy, that they're constantly working. Over here, we're mourning. Over here, they're constantly working. And so when they come in these cities, they tend to come to leave scars. They want to traumatize the people, if you will, so that we are almost like we lost a leader. Think about this. Ponder it, if you will. That when somebody comes in and raises all kind of Cain, and they attack black folks, attack Latinos, da 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 da. You know what we do, brothers and sisters? This is what we do. We keep thinking that the Calvary is going to be coming. And somehow we're going to produce another Malcolm, another Medgar, another Malcolm, another Martin, another Elijah, another Noble Drew Ali, and another Family Lou Hamer, another John Lewis. We're not producing them. They are environments of their time. Keyword, environments. What's our environment? What's our go-to? What's our best practices when these things happen? The fact that 50 white guys can get together on time in a traditionally black city, organize, have posters, dress the same, and walk around the city yelling things that are antithetical to racial harmony, diversity, and get away with it. Of course, they got chased by some brothers. I do have the video of them getting chased. But my point is, what makes them that comfortable? And I think we need to look at that. I'm going to pull up this last video because I showed you the one from Newsweek. Now I'm going to show you the one from this one. This is the actual footage that they had. Okay, give me a minute. So pay close attention. I'm like, do y'all understand the process I'm talking about? Now I'm gonna say this: the city of Philadelphia, city of DC. Hey, I don't know how they just walked in. Okay, I mean that many white guys looking like they working at Best Buy. It's a problem. I mean, I can think of the stores that are really happy to see them, like Old Navy sold out that day. But my point is, as many jokes as I make, they still pulled it off. And this is a training film. This is a training film. Dave Chappelle had a great joke about how whenever they were busting Al Qaeda hideout, they'd always find a videotape of a training film. They've taken the same idea. And this becomes, I want to say, currency, if you will, for the people who are going to be less and less informed, because there's levels to this. There's people who are going to be very informed. There's going to be people who are going to be less informed, and it's going to be the people who don't want to be informed. You know, in my game, when I used to write, I say, "Hey, man, there's certain categories of crazy of people that you're going to deal with that you got to be watching out. There's people who are crazy. There's people who are stupid. There are people who are dangerous. You've seen the progression from crazy to stupid to dangerous. All right, we got some comments before we get out of here. I know I'm holding up people's. Only one man wore a Klan hat that would be isolated and blown up as a representative of the march. Yeah, you know, but I think the thing also is, well, I will give them this. They were wearing masks. Yeah, they were wearing masks, but it wasn't for COVID. It wasn't for the Delta variant. Yeah, it's just Satana. Yeah, because I know in Philadelphia it was only going to be 1 or 2 phone calls. You were only going to hit a couple corners around Center City, and it was going to be on. But I think the thing is just to be able to roll in with 50 guys. Not only that, find parking spaces. Find parking spaces. Then go march and then leave. I'm here to tell you, brothers and sisters. So I say a lot of please pray for all of us. But beware of some group of white extremists from some white town in Iowa showing up in the middle of Detroit. And understand that this is a ploy. This is a ploy that we're going to go to the stronghold of these people. And we're going to show you that we're strong and they fear us. Yeah, I fear you, man. Why you come at 10:30, 10:45? Man, come meet me at the swap meet. I want to see something. Meet me at Crenshaw and Slauson wearing that stuff. And I just want to see and wear all the blue that you can. All right, wear all the blue that you can. You're going to find out that you ain't a gang member. But let me say this and I'll go. Please remember that the thing that I said. Thank you, Mom. I know, but thank you. It's nice to hear. Please remember that thing I said from the heat of the night. Though it's a fictional show, the man said something that was deeply profound. And I believe that this is the road that we're going to. That people know that in our African American communities and our Latino communities, that we're not producing leaders at a rate to combat what they have. They don't have leaders, they have followers. One of the larger failures of our community is that we never got really, really efficient having leaderless organizations. They're beating us. They're winning. That idea that we lose our leader and we're paralyzed for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Muhammad Ali passed away in the Muslim community. Muhammad Ali passed away, and it's like we didn't have a leader. He's yet to be replaced. He's yet to be. I remember when Imam Muhammad passed away, people literally said, "We still got Muhammad Ali." So I'm going to caution us to not get caught in this rhetoric where we're looking for leaders to save us. Leadership starts in the home. Save yourself. Save yourself. Save your families. And that, brothers and sisters, is a thing that will defeat these people and keep them from coming downtown at 10:30 at night, everybody looking like they just got off working at Pep Boys. My point is here, it's real. I'm a comedian, but I'm a thinker. Just like you. You may be viewing the show, but you're a thinker. You're an intellectual. So I'm going to employ us to start thinking differently. Let's start thinking strategically. Because here's the thing I'm going to throw out, and I'll leave it. They have moved away from the idea, and it's slowly moving away from this idea of competition between themselves. See, all the hate groups and racial groups, they choke themselves off. They choke themselves off. Who's the most hateful? Who we're gonna hate? And they suffer from their own egos. Somebody's got to be in charge. What about in our community? We have the mercurial personality that we follow until we can't follow them anymore. But then we find ourselves stuck. We've got to get out of that. We're the stars in the orbits that change the things for ourselves. And we have to do that. All right. I'm done. I hope there's going to be some barbecue somewhere in everybody's future. That's right. They wore clothes that could blend in after the month. I didn't think about that, Mom. They could have just gone to work. That boy could have sold me some extermination services. Wearing that tan and blue. The tan and blue is a powerful thing, brothers and sisters. So let's give a shout out. But they have more resources. Kareem, they have money, and I'm going to say this. They have money, but they don't have creativity. I've never really found a really, really creative racist. And I looked. Most of the creativity, and the reason I'm creative is because they always lean on the law. So, it's a different, and I don't claim, see, if you're creative, it means you don't have to lie. So if I have to go through and find everything you told me is a lie, then you're not creative. You're just a liar. So, so in that way, you're right. They have much more resources of liars. They have a rich abundance of liars. And we happen to elect them, but that's a whole nother show. So let's get it up and going. I want to give a shout out, of course, to BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Again, that's BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Call 1-888-496-6845. Again, that's 1-888-496-6845. Trying to lead people out of the slavery of debt. And you can actually go back and talk to the owner, the proprietor of that business, Miss Maxine B. Cade Esquire. Came on the show a while back, gave some fabulous information. Check her out. Also want to give a shout out to Bayan Islamic Graduate School. Again, that's Bayan Islamic Graduate School. If you're thinking about getting a quality graduate level, doctoral level education, check them out. Don't sleep. Even me, I got a master's of Islamic education. Now, I don't want you to be like, well, Preach got it. It can't be no good. No, I'm messing with you. Quality instruction. And I like instruction that increases quality of life, not just for myself, but the people around me. So check them out. So listen, we're going to bounce out of here. Y'all have been fabulous. Think about some of the things we said. I know the topic, red, white, and racism, because you can't leave it alone. This is something that just can't carry over to Monday or Tuesday. This is not, a weekday, a work week idea. That's why I put it on. People are constantly working at this. And I not joke about some people whose racism is really bad, but here's the deal. They keep working. At some point in time, it can mess around and be really, really good. I'm Preacher Moss. This is a shout out show. Have a happy 4th of July. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hey, everybody, this is your brother, Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your shout-out show experience. We'll be back with the next shout-out show. A simple ask before you go, please help your brother out. Click that subscribe button, click that notify button, and I'll see you again on this side of the microphone.